Because you're right. Watching the Knicks try to score, it is painful. Painful. And I love Jalen Brunson, but man, he gets the ball and starts backing, the ball just stops. He just kills it.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with us today on this Wind Up Wednesday edition, talking about the NBA playoffs, we've got our favorite administrator, Robert Abney, and we have our international correspondent, Francois FD. So we're going to jump right into the Eastern Conference playoffs. Robert, I'm going to start with you. Boston and New York. So we said there might be a night that Boston just doesn't hit shots, whatever, and the Knicks will win. Well, heck, that happened not once, but twice. Last game, Boston found its mojo, got its groove back. But I keep saying the Knicks can't score buckets, man. So give me your thoughts on Boston, New York, sir.
Well, I mean, the first two games of the series, Boston was 25 for 100 from three. We're taping this on Sunday. On Saturday night in game three, Boston was 20 of 40 from three. So 60 fewer shots, 5 fewer makes, and they won easily, controlled the whole game. And that's clearly we were correct about in our assessment of if they hit shot, if Boston is shooting the ball well, they're going to win easily. And I don't think that's going to change. It's just a matter of will Boston continue to make shots? Because you're right. Watching the Knicks try to score, it is painful. Painful. And I love Jalen Brunson, but man, he gets the ball and starts backing, the ball just stops. He just kills it. He just kills it. Pounds the ball, backs it down, spins 4 times, pivots 3 times, throws it up over his head, gets fouled. That's how the Knicks are living right now, and that's tough. That's tough.
All right, FD, Boston, New York. You're going to give us a different perspective. What are you thinking about that series, sir?
Yeah, this is a crazy series, and I was very shocked to see the Knicks win the 2 first game at Boston. I was shocked. And Robert was right. It depends. Boston's playing 5-out offense, and to be able to be good, to have space, they need to hit those three-point shots. And when they are not hitting the shot, they have very difficult issue in offense. I think Game 4 is going to be a big, big issue for this series because I don't see the Celtics come back for a 3-1. Right now at the start of the series, I was for the Celtics, but I give a bit of chance now to the Knicks because I think they can take this Game 4, and if they take this Game 4, they have 3 games to close the series, and it's gonna be difficult for the Celtics to win 3 games in a row.
All right, Coach Adams. Knicks can't score, and I'm more mad at Joe Mazzulla than I am Jason Tatum because when teams go on runs like that, and they do in the NBA is a league of runs. Mm-hmm. You have to stop this. You have to adjust. We didn't say stop shooting threes, but what else you got when you have to do something else to, is there a lineup change? Do we do some screen and roll action that we have in the playbook? They just kept shooting, and he had his arms crossed, which means it's okay to do that. Okay. So if Joe Mazzulla gets out of the way and actually does some instruction, you're going to get these blowouts. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not with the national media and the greatest Nick and all of that. Stop it. The Celtics are clearly a better team than the Knicks because they were up 20 each game, and they lost it as opposed to the Knicks winning it. Now, fourth quarter, you let hope in the building, you get what you deserve. But in terms of just basketball, come on, man. All right, we're going to move on. Cleveland, Indiana. I didn't know how hurt Cleveland was. Cleveland should still win, but I didn't know they were that much of a mash unit. Now, Indiana plays a different style of play, and they're doing some offensively efficient things. And Tyrese Halliburton's having a ball, giving the middle finger to everybody based on how he's playing. But Robert, can Cleveland win this thing, or Indiana's got too much going on?
I agree with you. I did not realize that Cleveland was as banged up as they are.
Wow.
Did not know that. I will say that, clearly, Indiana is going to go as Tyrese Halliburton goes, because game 3 at home, everybody's losing their minds. I have some friends with reps who were at the game, and they're all losing their minds. And the game was the game 3 was an absolute beatdown. And Tyrese Halliburton, it was almost like he didn't bother showing up. If Donovan Mitchell plays the way he did in game 3, I don't think it matters what Indiana does. That said, I don't know that's a whole lot of energy to stay at, to keep at a very high level to win 3 more games. And that's tough. I don't know if he can do that. So it'll be interesting to see. I think this series is going to be longer than we thought it was going to be. I think, I felt pretty certain it was going to be, Cleveland in 5, but again, did not know they were as beat up as they are. So let's see what we get.
Okay, FD, Cleveland, Indiana. Do you change your thoughts after watching 3 games? What are you thinking?
I think Cleveland is a different team with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. When they're in the game, when they're in the game. And I think when I see the 2 first game, I was, yeah, has it changed? But, when you miss 2 of your best players, and Garland has a big impact on the Cleveland style, even Mobley too, the game is different. And I think Cleveland is going to win this series, maybe by 6, but maybe by 7 if they have no injury. And Cleveland is one of the best team in the NBA, one of the favorite team to win the championship. So for me, in general, win those 2 first game, but I'm sorry to be, but Cleveland is a better team.
All right. So fans, when we get back in segment 2, Western Conference, Mike King's not here, but it's for Mother's Day, but we're a little worried about OKC. We'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CK Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches Podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. All right, now, Oklahoma City Denver. I like Oklahoma City. They have been playing historically well the entire season, doing some amazing things. You know of my love for the Joker. But when they made that coaching change at the end, I like boring, and that's just not boring. So they beat the Clippers in 7. Okay. But I'm thinking OKC is going to do some things. And yeah, we've got a series. Robert, talk to me about OKC Denver. We have a series that I did not anticipate. What do you think?
Same. Um, Aaron Gordon is playing out of his mind, and that makes a huge difference for them. I mean, OKC actually is doing a pretty good job with Joker. I mean, they're frustrating him. He's turning the ball over. He has not played very well, but the rest of the Nuggets have stepped it up and they're shooting the ball really well. And OKC is gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do with that. Because if they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to be home and the Nuggets will move on and Mike King will be very unhappy.
Very unhappy.
And the interesting thing about that, and Mike has talked about this in our text thread, if OKC happens to lose and they're out this round, he's afraid they're going to panic and do something crazy. Trading a bunch of people to get Giannis or something like that. And man, okay. I mean, they've only won one of the 3 games. They are fun to watch.
Yeah.
They are fun to watch. They play a lot of guys. Playing a lot of guys has its disadvantages because
Denver's playing 8.
seems like when you're in crunch time, you want certain people to have the ball. And if you run in 11, 12, 13 guys out there, that's a lot fewer opportunities for your SGA to take you down the stretch. So it has turned out to be way more interesting than I thought.
Very, very well said. FD, OKC, Denver. As of this taping, Denver's up 2-1. I didn't see that. What are you thinking about this series?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with all of you. The Denver Nuggets, everybody before the start of the series was sure that OKC is going to be close this series by 5 or maybe 5 or 6. Now Denver is giving a different perspective and they're playing well. There's something going on in Denver. I always think that basketball is a game of player. And when you have players that are involved in the game, and that's what we've seen with the Nuggets, not just about the coach, it's about, Jokic coaching, Russell Westbrook doing this thing. Every player is accountable. And that's what makes a different perspective for this Denver Nuggets. I think OKC is going to win, but it's going to be a long series. And I see this series go to Game 7.
Wow. Okay. All right. Minnesota Golden State. First of all, we don't want Steph hurt because when I was in high school, it was the end of Larry Bird. I mean, the end, the back, everything. And I had spent the entire 80s, Robert, hating Larry Bird. And then there was this one game where, I mean, he literally got up off the floor, end of the game. They were down 2, and he pointed to where he was going to shoot at. And he said, I'm about to win the game here, and we're going home. And he did that. And I'm like, why am I hating this guy? Why am I hating this? So Steph Curry, I never hated. I've always enjoyed watching him from Davidson and so forth. But Steph has done something that very few players have done. He has made like little kids want to shoot from 1,000 feet away from the basket, and that kind of stinks. But I want him to play. So he's hurt. Minnesota's got Anthony Edwards, and they're shoving Anthony Edwards down our throat, saying he's the next one, and he's like, I don't want to be this guy. And then I have Draymond that I've got to hear about. I'm not going to be Mike King, but I got to hear about him. So this whole series is kind of, neither of these teams can beat anybody in the East. So, what are we thinking about Minnesota Golden State, Rob?
Yeah, I agree that, it's by far the least watchable of the sports series going on right now. Not entertain. I can't stand Draymond. Just knucklehead's gonna knucklehead is the best way to put it, because he's just, you would think as a professional who's been around for a long time, you would have a better understanding of being able to manage your emotions. You would think that, a grown man would be better able to emotionally regulate himself. And clearly he is not. Because he cost them again, taping on Sunday, he cost them any opportunity to win on Saturday night because he had his last two fouls were 15 seconds apart, and both of them were bad fouls because he lost his mind and couldn't control himself. And without Steph, the Warriors, they cannot win this series. Their best bet is they gotta hang on. They gotta hang on and take as much out of Minnesota as they can, and hope that when Steph gets back, that your 70% Steph is going to be enough to win 3 games in a row. And I don't think that's going to happen.
And quite frankly, I'm rooting for Minnesota for all the wrong reasons, because I don't want to reward Jimmy Butler's behavior getting out of Miami. That's I've got a little petty in me too. And okay. FD, Minnesota, Golden State, from the international perspective. What are you thinking about this series, sir?
Yeah, definitely. When the Timberwolves was playing against the Lakers, everybody was seeing the Lakers win this series. The same thing against the Warriors, and I think without Steph, they're gonna win this series. But the Timberwolves is different. I saw a video like yesterday about the progress of Anthony Edwards. Last year in the playoff at the same level, he was playing by himself every possession. Now he's driving quick into the white man. This is a different player, and I think this Minnesota Timberwolves with this new Anthony Edwards, with the add of Julius Randle, the 3D trade, and talk about the trade of light of Julius Randle against Karl Anthony Towns. It was a win-win trade for both of the team, and Julius Randle is bringing many good things to this team, and I think they're gonna win this series. But yeah, they're gonna either the Nuggets or the OKC. It's gonna be a difficult finals against this Timberwolves team, even if I didn't see them win one game in this playoff. So
yeah, it's just tough, man. It's hard to watch this right now because neither team pauses me. And it's Will Cotton's fault, Robert, that I'm like, why? Julius Randle's playing pretty well. What's the beef? And George and Will are like, you just wait. You just wait. Okay. So in segment 3, fans, we're going to get you ready for the WNBA season in terms of understanding the CBA. There's a lot of big decisions that are forthcoming, and we want to talk about it before the season gets going because it's going to come up all season. We'll be right back on the Our Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education.
And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student athlete success. I believe every student athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.casafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. And in segment 3, we want to talk about some of the changes that are hopefully positive changes forthcoming to the WNBA on the administrative side. So the most important thing going on in the WNBA is taking place off the court. The league and its players have begun negotiations on a new collective bargaining agreement, CBA. And the CBA is the foundational document that defines the terms of the WNBA salary cap, roster sizes, eligibility, and the length of the season. So a lot of these things have been discussed. So what's the players' approach to the CBA? The last renegotiated agreement boosted the maximum salaries from $117,000 in 2019 to $215,000 in 2022, which was a jump of more than 30%. And now we are looking for larger increases, but you also have a potential conflict of interest. Undisputed, founded by Minnesota Lynx Nafisi Collier and New York Liberty's Brianna Stewart, ended up paying players more than the WNBA. And I don't know if they're in competition, but if there's a way to stash some money, this might be a way to do it. And sometimes in negotiations, it's players versus owners. In this situation, Robert, I'm like, man, we're partners in this thing because this ain't the NFL. This is something that we need to build together. So as you hear this, what are you thinking about, and how would you advise the WNBA?
First of all, I think I would consider the 3-on-3 league as kind of I'd say that's kind of an outlier. I don't know how logistically feasible it's going to be for them to continue to pay players that much money, because the first couple of weeks on TV, they had a bunch of people watching them. And then after that, I think nobody watched. Right. And I don't know as a business model, and I'm not a business guy. I don't know how long-term, how feasible that is in terms of, sustaining itself. The WNBA over the past couple of years has, increased viewership, and a lot of that is Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. The quality of play has gotten better. I mean, Asia Wilson, the Vegas Aces. I mean, all of that, the league is starting to pick up steam. It has gotten better over the past few years. And the worst thing you can do right now, the worst thing that could happen, is if you could not figure out a way to keep going and you went on and the players decided to go on strike. That is the one thing that absolutely cannot happen. That would kill it. I won't say it would kill the league, because WNBA has been around for a while. But you want to talk about putting the brakes on all of the good things that you've done. Going on strike would bring all of that to a screeching halt. You need to pay your players more. You need to take care of them when they travel. There are a lot of things that the league needs to do, but players, you can't go on strike, man. You can't do it. Can't do it.
All right. So, FD, what are the things that the players definitely want to talk about is something called prioritization. And fans, that means when the league starts, you have to be in training camp, and a lot of the women play in Europe in the off season, including our number 2 pick, Dominique. Any thoughts on either the collective bargaining agreement or prioritization? Because you're a person, not a machine, and your body needs time to rest. And you've got the NCAA players with like a week off before training camp. And I know Dominique, I know she had some delays in terms of traveling to Seattle. Any thoughts you have, sir?
Yeah, I think that the WNBA has to do a better job to adapt, the agreement of the season. I see an interview of Dominique Malonga. She was saying that I didn't know that, but when you come 25 days after the start of the training camp in the WNBA, your salary will be the same. It looked like you didn't play this season and you still get paid on your rookie year. And I think that it's not fair because women basketball is not like the same like men basketball. Women basketball, they play all the season in Europe or in other country, and they come during the summer to play another season. They have 2 seasons, and NBA players that have 1 season. And I think that is not fair. They have to find a way to make sure that those women basketball players are in the good position to play and to make sure that they keep, it keep fair like they do that for men basketball. And they have to make sure they adapt the regulation to make sure that everything is good for them.
All right. Robert, as we close, I think FD brought up a good point, and I know money is going to be a point of contention. Travel is going to be a point of contention. Prioritization is going to be a point of contention. And the WNBA is still going to play in the summer and the 3-on-3. And if you had one rock for them to focus on, and I'm going to put you in an official's hat, officials used to tell me, pick it. You want me to work on your guard or you want me to talk to your post? But we ain't going to listen to all this noise throughout the game, coach. So you better make it good. What would you do for the WNBA in terms of, all right, what should you prioritize? Because there's a lot of legitimate things going on. But if you have one thing, what's that one thing, sir?
I think if I'm the league, my focus has to be on taking care of the players, taking better care of the players. Okay. Better travel, better better locker room facility requirements, better, all of it, taking care of the players. Not necessarily more money, although that needs to be part of it, but making sure that players' needs are taken care of. I think if I'm the players, there's a lot of different stuff that they can talk about. The players need to decide, okay, here's a list. Here's number one. If we don't talk about number one, it's a non-starter, whatever their number one is. But I mean, they really have to, the players really need to prioritize what they want in order for the negotiations to be successful, in my opinion. The WNBA the league needs to do a better job of taking care of the players.
Yeah, I am hoping they don't get splintered in terms of what people care about because roster size. You want larger rosters. You want charter planes. You want better medical, especially child care and all of that. You want more money. You want all legitimate things, but you're not going to get all of that. And owners are still going to be owners, and they're going to say, "Tell me what you want." And if they split you, they get you. So I hope that the old heads, the young heads, can find some way to meet in the middle.
Because if they get because the last time they renegotiated, salary cap went up 30%. The maximum salary went up 30%. Well, if they do that again, they're up to about $400,000,
Yeah,
which is
better
good money. It's not great, and some of these girls are making more than that in college.
Yeah.
But you can't control that. Can't control that. Focus on, making sure that the league is the elite place where the best women players in the world want to play.
All right. FD, any final thoughts before we close, sir?
Yeah, but I think it's crazy for women basketball to think about they're gonna have more check paid in college than in Europe or than in the WNBA. Good for the NCAA, but I think that is crazy. And I agree with you, Robert. WNBA has to be the best league in the world, and they have to do a better job on that, and make sure that the players travel well. They have the same security than NBA, and yeah, we have to do a better job of that because the league is getting exposure. And I saw last year there were at least more African in a game that in the NBA game. So I don't understand why league is becoming popular as the NBA and they don't have the same opportunity, and they have to do a better job on that.
All right. So, on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and/or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.